That's a deal.
I'll go get it.
That's probably, no, I can use my fist.
Mayor.
Pardon?
No, we're talking about the gavel. It's going.
What? Oh, I will, yes. Oh, okay, let me have one of those so I can remember.
Do you know where the gavel is?
Anybody know where the gavel is?
Who stole it?
We're looking under here.
You mean go get my hammer?
Well, does anybody have a
I got a stout knife.
What are you gonna talk about? You gonna talk about?
If you say it, I won't repeat it.
You're smart.
Mayor, you wanna use this for your gavel?
Pardon? Nah, I'll use my fist.
Gotta figure out who absconded.
Give me a couple weeks.
Wow, that's. I know you can.
It's time, boss.
Well, we got a couple of minutes.
There we go. Look at your computer.
Ah, there we go. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and please be seated. How about roll call?
I suppose we can do that. Good evening, everyone. Councilmember Kelly
Present.
and Councilmember Turner is currently absent. Councilmember Perkins. Here. Councilmember Mendoza.
Here.
Councilmember Best.
Here.
Vice Mayor Miller.
Here.
And Mayor Croft.
Here.
We have a
Let's go
quorum.
on to introductions, presentations, and proclamations. Introduction of new hires by Laura Kasarakis. Was I close? No, I wasn't even close. was I?
Just say lower K.
Hey for Laura K. Human
Good evening.
Resources Director.
So since May of 2019, we've had 12 new hires or 12 additions to our team, and they're all here to introduce themselves to you and say hi. Going forward, we're going to make this more of a regular process, so you won't see 12 people the next time I'm in front of you with new hires. So probably every couple months we'll try and do this. So I'm going to do this in groups, maybe if that works for everybody. So the first group that we have is customer service. And customer service, if you want to come up here, Jessica, consists of one individual, and I'll let her introduce herself and her title.
Hello,
Hi.
I'm Jessica. I work in the Public
Works.
Works Department building. That was where I was going with that. Thank you. I'm the new administrative technician. So if you need anything, let me know. Happy to help. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
So
Welcome.
Jessica Kunzler is part of our customer service team.
It's Kunzler.
Oh, Kunzler, I'm sorry. Kunzler.
Another K.
The next group I'd like to call up consists of one person again, is the municipal court. So we have Brittany O'Neill.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brittany O'Neill. I work at the Chino Valley Municipal Court. I came over from the Prescott Consolidated Court, came back here to the hometown, and so just glad to be a part of the team here.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, thank you.
Welcome aboard.
I wonder
right.
why the judge was here tonight, but I
You
hope
felt
we're
like
not having court.
Did you feel like you were being judged?
Yeah.
Always.
So the next group I'd like to invite up is the senior center and the library as a group. If you want to come up, we've got Charlie, Tony, Amanda, and Jean. Can't forget Jean. Thank you, Jean, for coming. So we can start with the library. Yeah.
Hello, my name's Amanda, and I work as a clerk at the library, and I've also been filling in the children's department while we look for a new children's librarian. So.
Yes, thank you for that.
Great,
Welcome.
Thank you.
welcome.
Hi guys, my name is Charlie Vadnais. I'm the lead cook at the Senior Center. come on over and have lunch.
Okay, welcome.
Breakfast.
The food is good, I can tell you that.
Hello, I'm Jean Wonderlick, and I'm the assistant cook for the senior center.
Yes,
Good,
I'm glad to
welcome.
be here.
welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, Jane.
And I'm Tony Flournoy. I'm at the front desk at the same senior center, so come on down.
Welcome.
Welcome aboard.
Thanks, you guys. All right, last but not least, we have the police department and animal control. So it's our biggest group, so come on up.
You're not new, Randy.
You're trying to sneak in,
He's
Randy.
trying to sneak in.
Go ahead, Jonathan Matei.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jonathan Matea. I just graduated the police academy about a month ago and just finished my first phase of FTO. And I'm a police officer with Chino Valley Police Department. It's nice to meet you guys.
Welcome.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Hector Torres. Work for the Chino Valley Police Department. Just graduated with the NARDA class last month, so just completed my first phase. So, good evening, everyone.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Good evening. My name is Bill Burns. I moved here from Prescott Valley and Prescott, and so I was a lateral transfer. So probably about a little over 21 years on. So glad to be here.
Good.
Hey, welcome.
Thank you. Don't be bashful. Come on up.
I'm Michelle Frame. I am the new adoption specialist at the Chino Valley Animal Shelter.
Hey.
Hello, my name is Scott Undress here. I'm a new animal control officer.
Oh, good.
Right,
Welcome.
welcome.
And I'm Randy Chapman. I've been here for quite a while. We have one other officer, David Herrera. He joined us back at the end of May, but he had a previous engagement, so he wasn't able to be here tonight. And I also came up here to let everybody know it's Scott Untersayer's birthday today.
All right.
You don't want us to sing to you, Scott. Thank you. Welcome.
Welcome aboard. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Laura.
Great. Chief Wynn, are you going to come down?
I hope not.
Do you have a presentation? Item B is presentation Outstanding Citizen Award to citizens who found and reported a young man hit by a vehicle.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. I always like to take the opportunity when I speak in groups to talk about how we have a safe community because people get involved here. I know you've seen videos of other places where things will be going on and everybody's standing around filming it with their camera, but nobody's helping. Unfortunately, we are in a community where that doesn't happen. And we had a very good example. This happened in October where we had a young man, Holden, who was struck while riding his bicycle on Center Street. The Whites, are you here? The Whites?
Right
there, can you come on up? The Whites. The Whites were driving by and noticed that something was amiss, and they stopped and found Holden and called 911. And there's no doubt in my mind or any of the officers and the firefighters that were on the scene that this made a huge difference in Holden getting medical attention quickly, and he was able to make a recovery. Like I said, in a lot of communities, people would just drive by and not take the time to stop, but because they did stop, we had a very positive outcome to this. Holden, you can come on up to your mom said I can embarrass you, so. So we're all very happy to be here tonight that, Holden is back 100%, and the Whites, like I said, if it wasn't for you guys stopping, things might have turned out differently. So we do appreciate that, and we always encourage people in the community to get involved and to, call us if they see anything and anything. So we have certificates for the Whites tonight, and we also have one of our department challenge coins for the Whites and also for Holden. So nice. Present those.
All right, thank you.
For you. Mr. White. Mr. White. Can you get a good with everybody? You guys okay with that?
Yeah.
Just want to ask first.
Thank you very much for what you did.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate. Thank you, Chief, for the recognition for these great folks that, and the things that our citizens in town do. We're very privileged to live here and do the things that we do. Okay, we're going to go on to item 3, which is call to the public. Call to the public's an opportunity for the public to address the council on any issue within the jurisdiction of the council that is not on the agenda. Public comment is encouraged. Individuals are limited to speak for 3 minutes. The total time for call to the public may be up to 30 minutes per meeting. Council action taken as a result of public comment will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, scheduling the matter for further consideration and decision at a later date, or responding to the criticism. Is there anyone who would like to speak to the council at call to the public? Yes, sir. This is Supervisor, what's his name? Craig Brown. He's also president of the Board of Supervisors this year.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. I just came here tonight to announce the fact that the sheriff of Yavapai County, Scott Masher, has come to the Board of Supervisors and announced that he would like to have a fallen officers memorial located on the plaza in downtown Prescott, and we are looking at a location, and we'll probably approve that measure tomorrow, and we'll be moving forward. The reason I bring it here tonight is that we want to make sure this is inclusive of the entire county. So Chino Valley will be included on the board. They'll be talking to the chief and working out who's going to be the representative from Chino, and we're going to try and put it together and get it up within the next 6 to 8 months. So the sheriff will be taking donations, of course.
Of course.
So, but it'll come out where we know exactly who to send money to if we want to, support it. As a former police officer, I know it's amazed me that there wasn't one on the plaza before now. So
Absolutely.
anyway, thank
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you.
Since we didn't have a meeting last week, one of the day last week was a Law Enforcement Officers Recognition Day. So I'd like to recognize all our law enforcement officers and for the great job that they do. Anybody else would like to speak to the public? Okay. Yes, sir.
My name is Donnie Roscoff, and we seem to be having a little bit of trouble on some land splits here in Chino, and I'm not sure what's going on there, but I wanted to kind of let you know my situation. So I bought some property, and it always has been understood that you could split it in 3 times in the town of Chino. So I did my due diligence, got the blessing from the people at the town of Chino, found out with water, sewer, natural gas, etc. And I sold it, I split it 3 times, sold it to 3 different people. And now one of the young gentlemen I sold it to, they've been given, he sold his house, bought this property from me, and I don't really understand what's going on. He went to get a permit to build a house after he sold his house, and Chino keeps giving him the runaround. He did his due diligence. They told him he could split it 3 times, and it was zoned for a 1 acre minimums. He split it into 2 1s and a 2 acre piece, and now they're not giving him a permit. So I don't really understand what's going on, because we've all been told we could do that, and went and did all their due diligence to make sure. And I don't know, I mean, it kind of makes you think you did something wrong, but I know we didn't because we all went to the town beforehand before we did that. So I don't really understand, but it's putting a lot of, so in other words, say you spend your life savings on a piece of property, split it, and you're gonna make some money selling it, and now they're telling us we can't do that. So what do I need to do with this young gentleman? Do I need to go give him his money back? Or, I don't really understand where I stand right here, and I think we need to get some clarification on that. And in this, so now I bought some other property that I was gonna split into two pieces, and now I'm worried that I can't do that. So I'm gonna end up losing money on that property too. So, I mean, if they're gonna make something up, they need to do it or let us know before we buy the property. So now I've got a piece of property sitting there and I don't know if I can split it or not, whereas I always could before. So I think we need to work something out where everybody knows what's going on. Or at least if you make that law up or rule or whatever you want to call it, you need to do it before people buy the property so they know what's going on. I think we need to clarify a lot of things, and I think you're going to do that in an executive session tonight, but I'm not sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir. You're next.
My name's Ryan Roberts, been here before. I got pretty much the same issue. I have 2 acres, again, that is being held up for reasons nobody can tell me. I've called the town multiple times. Nobody will return my phone calls. I've sent an email back on Christmas Eve. I sent it to 3 people. None of the 3 can even email me back. When I dropped in the split application, which they accepted the application, just wouldn't approve it. But I was told that they would email me back with a response. They still haven't done that. I'm just waiting. I have a buyer lined up for 2 1-acre parcels and won't buy if it's a 2-acre parcel that cannot be split. So I mean, we're just sitting here in limbo. I'm paying interest on land that I just want to sell it. I just want, it's the same thing everybody's done. Everybody around me has split theirs down to 1 acre. I'm no different than them, but yeah, I'm being held up, and I don't understand why. We've always, as a town, they've always approved these land splits. They've approved everybody around me in the last year, and they're holding me up, and they said, oh, it's because of a state statute, but nobody can name it. Nobody can tell me which state statute is in question. And I think what it really comes down to is the culture of this town needs to change. Like, when I go in there and nobody wants to help me, and I mean, the first answer you get is, no, you can't do that. Why can't I do that? That's not what you're there for. These people, if you work for the town, you should be there to help the people, not to just resist everything they're trying to do. As a property owner that bought 2 acres in a 1-acre zoned area, like, I have the right to split that land. It's my rights. And I don't understand why that's being held up. Why are people withholding my rights based on their opinions, or I don't know. But, the last rodeo that I was up here for, it was the same thing. They kept twisting the codes, trying to come up with reasons to ram a $480,000 sewer water project down 7 lots. This town's culture needs to change to help people, not just devalue their land to nothing. If you can't split your land, 3 acres is worth 1 acre. It's not worth any money. So that's my concern, and I hope somebody gets back to me. I'm patiently waiting, but we'll see. Thank you.
We'll have an answer for you. Anyone else?
Good evening. My name's Troy Koski. I own TDK Comfort Systems down here at the south end of town. I'm in the same boat as these 2 gentlemen, trying to help young families, young single people even, live their dream of building a home in Chino Valley. So we're trying to do the right thing of taking up larger pieces of land, split them, so that people can afford to buy them and build their dream homes on them. We got letters, before Christmas from Development Services, emails that said, we know what you want to do. You can't do it right now, but we'll get back to you after the first of the year. I think today's the 13th. We haven't heard a thing from anybody. Okay, so we go in there and it's like they don't really want to work with us. We're putting them out of place. But I'm pretty sure they work for us, the town. So instead of telling us what we can't do, they need to tell us what we need to do to get these splits so we can get these homes built. I think the town of Chino wants nice homes built in their town and bring these young families in, because that's what we need in this town. It's very discouraging. It doesn't help the town. It doesn't help people like us that want to help other people come to this town. That's why we came here so many years ago, because it is a great town to live in and grow and raise your family, go to the schools, all that good stuff. But if the town and development services isn't going to help us, that word's going to get around pretty quick, and we're not going to have anything built. There's going to be no tax base. You know, people are paying taxes, schools, policemen, everything. But if we can't build them, the town's going to suffer. So that's what I have to say.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you for coming this evening. Anyone else?
Evening. So not to beat a dead horse, but with the same group, these last three gentlemen. The process for me started last June. Sold the house, 3 kids, pregnant wife. Got the land closed in about August, and since then I've simply been trying to split the property. And then it was just a couple weeks before Christmas that I was told, no, you can't do that. And all I got was an email saying I'll get to you after the holidays was it. So yeah, not to keep everyone waiting, but yeah, just to let you know.
Can we get your name, sir?
Oh, sorry, Aaron Stafford.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you.
Good evening. Dave Rowe with Clayton Homes and Oakwood Homes here in Chino Valley. Pretty much the same thing. We're hearing it daily. I've got, I think, 3 or 4 projects that are sitting, waiting for the answer on the splits. I know we talked with Cecilia last week, and I know you're going into an executive session. We are in desperate need of affordable housing, and everybody is trying to develop their properties, and right now we're at a standstill on permitting and getting those splits approved. So please see what you can do about moving this stuff forward. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Response to the public is an opportunity for the mayor to inform the public about how town officials address matters raised during call to the public at a previous meeting. And this item was requested by a local business owner to reconsider the restrictions on off-site signage, which has resulted in the loss of business. And the response is, a member of the community spoke to the council at last call to the public about off-site signage not being allowed for his business. Staff response is as follows. A business owner operating at 1620 South State Route 89, a property setback off SR 89, spoke to the council about current restrictions for off-site signage. Currently, all off-site signage is prohibited by our current sign ordinance. For clarity, the property in question received approval in 1991 to construct a sign frame for the business located on the property. At the time, the property was larger and fronted on SR 89. In 2004, the property was split into 2 parcels. The sign frame at that point became non-conforming. The sign frame was located on the eastern parcel near the road. As the sign was non-conforming and the frame existing, staff issued a permit for a new sign face for the business in question. However, due to circumstances not caused by the town, the sign and sign frame were removed completely by the owner of the property on which they were located, not the same property as the business located. As the sign was completely removed, staff cannot issue a new permit to construct a new sign off-site that would create a non-conforming situation based on the current UDO. In another related situation, Burger King has requested signage on their property that will become non-conforming once they split the property, as some of the signage will be for a portion of the property that will be splitting off the road.
If the council directs, the staff should begin looking at possible off-sign permissions. Please, town manager, get them busy looking at some kind of ordinance that we can deal with off-site signage.
We'll schedule something for a study session.
All right, thank you. Okay, let's go on. Current events and summary reports. This item is for information only. The mayor, any councilman or town member may present a brief summary or report on current events. If listed below, there may also be a presentation on information requested by the mayor and council, and questions may be answered. No action will be taken. Anybody on this side have anything?
No, sir.
Yeah. Okay, Mike.
All right, it's been about 8 months we've been working on this project. This will be the 50th anniversary book for the town of Chino Valley. We should have bound copies. This is our last unbound copy, but you can see what the pages are going to look like. We will have them at the end of the month, and right now I'll say they'll be for sale at town and at the library. But we're asking $30 for them, and we hope, I thank all the people that went ahead and did interviews, talked to businesses, families, and put this thing together, because I think it is a beautiful piece of work that they've gone ahead and worked on.
Okay, Councilmember Perkins.
Okay, I'm going to try and be as vague as possible, but here's a warm, fuzzy story for y'all. I was Santa's helper at our town's Christmas tree lighting, and all the kids asked for random toys and whatnot. And there were a couple heartbreaking requests for Santa, not gonna lie. And this one little girl asked Santa for socks. And it broke my heart. I mean, that's what she wanted, was socks. And our community, we had a secret staff member involved, completely anonymously found out that there were 6 kids in that family, kind of in transition, and our community came together and provided, gathered, shopped for fresh food, frozen food, pantry food for this family, enough to spread over to 2 other families, so 3 families total. And on Christmas morning, those 6 kids received new clothes, new toys, and a lot of socks. And that was just from the hearts of people in our community. So, you know, on this side of the dais, we hear a lot of not so great things and feedback, but I want to send a really big thank you to everyone in our community that helped that family, and consequently 2 other families that wouldn't have had Christmas, period. And there's a lot of great resources in our town, and I really appreciate everyone for their help with that. Cool. That's it.
Great. Thank you. Well, those of you that's been through the Citizens Academy know about it. January 23rd through March 12th, we're going to have another Citizens Academy. It is 8 weeks, 1 night a week for about 3 hours. And we actually bring in all the staff members. We bring in the education institutions, service clubs. And if you go through the Citizens Academy, you'll find out exactly what happens in town. You'll know why the town does what the town does. And we try to get rid of those myths that we have around that talks about, yes, we all go back here and we solve all the problems, but it doesn't happen that way. It's a lot of work. So if you have half an hour on Thursday evening starting on the 23rd for 3 hours, it's going to be discussed right here. It's free. I'll provide some water, coffee, and snacks. Come in and we'll discuss and learn about Chino Valley, how the town operates, and some of the good people that we have around that will come in and talk to you.
Mr. Mayor, are those flyers available somewhere?
These flyers are available. They have them right here. You can sign up for the Citizens Academy at the Chamber of Commerce or right here.
And they're also available at the library.
And
according
at the
to Mr. Brewer.
library, so. We've got about 25 members, folks that are signed up now. We got plenty of room, so if you're interested in learning about town, come on out and register and come visit with us for our Citizens Academy. Thank you. Okay. Madam Town Manager, have you
Ready
anything?
for me? Okay. Officer Herrera is one of our new officers, and he was not able to be here tonight. But somebody had handed the mayor a note about a nice deed that he had done, and the mayor passed it on to me. So we'd like to recognize that a citizen had noticed that there was a young boy who was late for school, and apparently Officer Herrera had picked him up and taken him to school. So he's one of our new recruits. So please pass on our thanks to him.
Yeah, that is great, and those kind of things that we like to see here in town. But
Nice
that
small
was
town.
given to me by another citizen, so I was happy to bring it back in recognition.
Okay, so I've got a couple finance issues. First off, the town's long-term bond rating has improved from A+ to AA-. The town has once again been awarded the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting by the Government Finance Officers Association, GFAO, for its comprehensive annual financial report, the CAFR. So congratulations to Joe and his staff. Jamie, can you throw up the pictures of the Trails Association? And so the Trails Association, the Yavapai Trails Association put in for a grant for benches and installation of benches and counters and some signage on the Peavine Trail. So here's a picture showing what those are. And then secondly, the next slide shows the pickleball courts and some of the new painting, and they invited some of the younger people in to learn how to play pickleball. So we wanted to show you that those are done over at the community center. We also have a handful of employee anniversaries, if you could throw that slide up. Our new town, one of our new town clerk employees, Erin, is here 5 years. Marilee was here earlier. She's been here 6 years. The judge has been here 5 years. Steve Jones has been here a long time, 15 years. And then, it's almost all police department. Josh McIntyre and Jerry Miller, 4 years and 14 years. So congratulations to all of them, and thank you for your service with our community. I wanted to mention that next Tuesday we have a study session that will begin at 5 p.m. When we did our election last year for our road maintenance program and the potential to have a property tax, we had a lot of questions about impact fees. So one of the discussions will be, we have Pat Walker coming up here, and then our attorney will be here as well, who both know a lot about impact fees. And they will be doing a 30,000-foot level, and from there you can decide if we want to pursue anything further after that discussion. We will also be talking about the town manager recruitment and engineering standards. And I think that's it. We've got a couple other staff reports that are coming up.
And that'll happen here next Tuesday at 6 o'clock.
5 p.m.
I'm sorry, we're doing it 5 p.m. early,
Yes.
right here in this room.
Correct.
Yes.
So if you're interested, come on down. Okay, let's go to item C, report by Economic Development Project Manager Maggie Titeback regarding grant awarded to Horses with Heart Incorporated from Arizona Association for Economic Development. Good evening.
Mayor and Council. So just an update. So I'm a member of the Arizona Association for Economic Development. And each year, the members get to vote for a local charity that they believe they want to win this. It's not a grant, it's a charitable donation. And I've nominated Horses with Heart, and out of 40, they won. So it's pretty exciting for them. They raised almost $7,000 for them.
Oh, wow, that's great.
So that's it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Maggie.
Now we're going to have the Public Works Director. Status report and update by Public Works Director, Town Engineer Frank Marbury regarding Unity Road.
Now for the bad news. Just want to update council on road maintenance for a road in particular. We've had a lot of calls on and struggled with what to do with. The highlighted portion here is Unity Road. It's the backside of Bright Star subdivision. It is the secondary access to the subdivision is required by law. If you have over, I believe, 30 homes, you need a second access. a number of years ago, it had a single chip seal put on that road, and that chip seal has completely failed. This is some of the patchwork. That's my town vehicle sitting in the pothole almost up to the wheel rims. It's just beyond repair for that small portion. You can't patch it. If it went to be resurfaced, you would have to completely reconstruct the road anyway. It's gotten so bad, these yellow items right here are delineators that were put up trying to keep people on the roadway, but they're actually having a smoother driving surface off on the side of the road, and they're making their own roads. So I wish it was more of a question, but I'm really here to inform council that in order to maintain this roadway right now, we're going to need to go in there and just rip the remaining chip up what's left of it, add some base course, and maintain it as a dirt road, and it'll be a better surface than what it is now. So this is, wish we could afford to do more with it. We can't. But also know that if you look at this is from the county GIS website. These are all platted lots in Bright Star. And if the developer comes back in to start constructing these lots, we will work with the developer to see what we can do to improve that road to subdivision standards as they've finished the development of that subdivision like it should be done. So I think it may be part of the development to resurface that road and maybe even curb gutter and sidewalks along it, at least to the end of the subdivision. Once you get past there, it's not the developer's responsibility. So, but for now, that road's going to go back to gravel, and the folks that live down that road will actually tell you it'll be a improvement for what they're dealing with now. So.
Obviously, somebody
Some of the
lives on that
residents
road.
back there. So.
Any questions for the council?
No, I know what he's talking about.
Okay.
All right,
Very
thank
good.
you.
Thank you. Okay, let's go on to item 6, consent agenda. All those items listed below are considered to be routine and may be enacted by one motion. Any council member may request to remove an item from the consent agenda to be considered and discussed separately. I'm going to pull item A because we need to make an amendment to that. Anybody else want to pull any other items?
I'm okay with it.
Town clerk, would you read the consent agenda items?
Are you gonna read them now?
Yeah, we're going to read them. B through, boy, there's a lot of them there. Do we really want to do that?
We have it in the past.
Okay, we won't do that. I'll need an approval for B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and I.
I make a motion we approve the consent agenda items B through I.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm going to read item A, consideration possible action to accept bid and approve purchases from Huber Technology of a Huber Rotomap PPS perforated plate screen for the wastewater treatment plant in an amount not to exceed $122,000 and approve addendum to scope of supply in terms of conditions. Who's going to talk to this? Frank, are you going to talk to it? So there's an amendment, and what is the amendment you need?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, this item, if we could just maybe word the motion, we're having a little issue with negotiating the addendum with the vendor. So I think upon legal advice from the council, we would like to amend the motion to have this approved pending negotiation of the addendum. Is that the proper term, Andrew?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, if you can just approve the contract subject to agreement on the addendum, that would be enough.
Okay, please.
Do I need to read all that then?
Yes, sir, you need to read it.
Okay, consideration possible, excuse me, action to approve bid and approve the purchase from Huber Technology of Huber Rotomats and perforated plate sheets for the wastewater treatment plant in the amount per the addendum?
No, not to exceed.
Not to exceed $122,000.
Oh, not to exceed $122,000 and approve addendum to scope of supply and terms and conditions.
Is that enough?
No. He's got his mic down.
Subject to approval of the Arizona addendum, let's call it that.
Subject to the approval of the Arizona addendum?
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go on to 7 action items. The council may vote to recess the public meeting and hold an executive session on any item on this agenda pursuant to ARS 38-431-03A3 for the purpose of discussion or consultation for legal advice with the town attorney. Executive sessions are not open to the public. No action may be taken in executive session. Item A, public hearing and possible action to recommend approval of an application for Agent Robert Rene Venezuela for a new Series 03 in-state microbrewery liquor license for Insurgent Brewery Company LLC located at 990 North State, Route 89, Suite D, Chino Valley.
I make a motion, we open the public hearing.
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are open. The public hearing is open for this liquor license.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We are asking for approval for a Series 3 state microbrewery liquor license for the Insurgent Brewing Company. At this time, they do have a valid license. However, they are moving from Suite C to Suite D. So they have to start the process all over again. So we are asking for approval of moving and having their liquor license approved.
Okay. The hearing is open. Do we have any discussion?
We have the
Question?
applicant. Would you like to say anything?
Good evening, Council, Mayor.
Morning. Evening, whatever the hell it is.
I am Insurgent Brewing Company. And as Joanne mentioned, the state requires, or I should say, a Series 3 liquor license is not transferable more than 30 feet. I'm literally moving 50 feet. So here we go all over again. Anyway, thank you for your consideration, and I want to thank the town for their hard work during the permitting process and getting us going in the new unit.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any other comments? I need a motion to close.
I
the
make a
hearing.
motion, we close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Public hearing is closed. Now I need a motion to
I'll
approve. Go ahead.
Make a recommendation of approval of new state Series 3 liquor license for Insurgent Brewing.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It's approved.
you.
Thank you, John. Yeah, it's a tongue twister.
I know, yeah, I think I went to Insurgent before I came. Well,
It's a great place. Y'all should go.
Yeah, it is. They have good brew. Consideration possible action to approve the infrastructure reimbursement agreement with Barnett Management for utility extension from Road 2 North to Burger King site in the amount not to exceed $150,000. Ms. Tidebeck, Economic Development Project Manager.
Good evening again. So I'll just go ahead and read this because it's pretty straightforward. We've all talked about it already. Barnett Management Company purchased land north of Walgreens on Road 2 North at Highway 89 to put in a Burger King restaurant. To bring utilities to their property, they are crossing other properties that would later benefit from the extension of sewer and water to the west of the property. They asked for some relief from the town since utilities are not to the property line, and council agreed to pay a utility reimbursement for up to $150,000 for water and sewer extensions. Burger King's initial estimate on pulling the utilities is $154,737. When the work is completed, Barnett Management will submit detailed invoices, and the town will reimburse up to $150,000 for the utility extension.
So this will eventually help the town because we expect growth in that area, and we will have the infrastructure there already. So we're
Correct,
looking
first
into the
step.
future for something. Okay. Questions? Questions on this side?
I'll make a motion, we approve the infrastructure reimbursement agreement with Barnett Management for utilities extensions from 2 North to the Burger King site, an amount not to exceed $150,000.
Do I have
I second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Let's go on to item C. Consideration of possible action to determine time frame for pending ballot measures in the town's 2020 election cycle. Our town clerk, Ms. Lewis.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. All right, as you know, we have an election coming up. Our primary is scheduled for August 4th, and a general, should we need it, most likely, will be November 3rd. And there are currently 2 pending ballot measures to be considered this year. One of them is our alternative expenditure limitation home rule option, which comes up every 4 years, excuse me, and a water company franchise for the Chino Meadows 2 Water Company. A franchise is granted to public utility corporations for the purpose of allowing the utility to do business within the city or town. And the council may pass a resolution calling for a franchise election at either the next regular election or a special election that's called specifically for that purpose. Since we have regular elections this year, it makes sense to do it in conjunction with our regular election. A majority of the qualified electors voting at the election is necessary to approve a franchise. It is customary that the public utility for which the election is being held also pay its proportionate election costs. The town currently has voter-approved franchises with APS and Citizens Utilities that were approved in the late 90s, and they will be expiring in 2022 and 2024. The town's voters had approved a previous franchise with Chino Meadows 2 Water Company, which expired in 2014, and now the utility is wanting to negotiate a new franchise agreement with the council and put it before the voters. So here's the thing that we would like your help with. Historically, the town schedules ballot measures on the primary ballot so that if all the council seats are filled in the primary, we don't have a general election and we save money. Right now, an average election is $25,000 to $30,000. Staff's recommendation is to place the home rule option on the primary election, as usual. However, we want some discussion and direction from council regarding the franchise ballot item as to placing it on the same ballot as home rule, or if you would prefer to put it on the separate ballot in November. The question is why consider separating the 2 ballot measures? Well, voter confusion may be the biggest reason, as evidenced with last year's special election between the complexity of the property tax question and the general political will regarding it. And even though the 2 ballot measures on the ballot had no specific connection, the fallout of the property tax disapproval also resulted in the utility question being defeated. Home rule also typically requires lots of voter education, and the franchise item could fall through the cracks if it were on the same ballot. The next thing to consider is holding a general election. Typically, we don't need a general election. We usually fill all of our council seats and have all of our ballot measures on the primary. We haven't had a runoff since 2011. However, whenever there's a larger amount of people running for council office, we usually do tend to have a runoff election. So the chances this year of having a general election are a lot stronger than in previous years. As far as the cost savings with putting the measures together versus not putting them together, this year, if we're going to have a general election anyways, the costs will be about the same, because the utility, if we were calling a separate special election for nothing but the utility, typically the utility company would pay for the entire thing. When there's other things on the ballot, then we negotiate a proportional cost for the utility to cover. So in looking at our various options this year, there wouldn't be any particular savings going one way or the other. And then the next question is, does the utility have a say? The representative for the utility has stated that they are anxious to get it on the ballot as soon as possible. We've informed them that we will be discussing this tonight, and they have already submitted a draft agreement for your consideration, which we would look at in an executive session. And once you all decide what ballot to put the item on, then you would direct us to bring that to an executive session to review, to get staff's input on the agreement itself. So I hope that was clear.
What happens if we don't pass home rule?
Oh, wow. Well, based on last year's home rule, if I remember correctly, we would lose about 47%. We would not lose the income, we would simply not be able to use it.
So to me, home rule is more important. I'd like to see that done on the August 4 election with the education that goes with it.
Right.
And I agree with you. I think we'll probably have a runoff. We have 13 candidates now for town council. We're going to have a runoff in November. So we could put the franchise on the November ballot.
Okay.
I'm very, very concerned about home rule.
Yes.
Because that really would hurt.
Always.
Always.
Right.
Comments?
Agree. Separate them.
Okay.
Comments?
Oh, I agree. Home rule is very important.
Yes.
So what were you saying? Put it on
Put home rule
primary
on
or on the
the
general?
primary and the franchise on the
General.
general
On
election.
the general. Mm-hmm.
So the home rule on the primary.
Yeah,
Mhm.
correct. Yep. And stop that confusion. Because you
Yeah.
know what happened the last time we tried it.
Bear with me for a second here. This election, the general election in November, is kind of a big deal this year for our country, and I think we'll have a higher voter turnout.
Yes.
What if we put home rule on that one?
Either or, I just think they should be separated.
Yeah, and I don't have any problems, so they should be separate.
I'm just thinking there'll be higher voter turnout for the November election than there would be for August.
Should be for everything too. Primary.
Oh, I gotta look. Hang on, Andrew.
Andrew, do you have any input to this?
The one thing to keep in mind with particularly the federal elections being in November is sometimes people don't make it all the way down ballot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yep, that's
our
true.
issues are all the way at the tail end.
Oh.
And so we like to have them on ballots that there might be a better chance that they'll see them.
More clarity.
Food for thought.
Good point. What's your pleasure? My recommendation is to put home rule on the first election and franchise on the general election.
I agree.
I will take our attorney's advice and agree as well.
So we need to make a motion for this, or what, Jane?
Do you want just direction, or you want a motion?
You could, yeah. It would be nice to have a motion.
Okay.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we designate election dates being the primary election for the home rule and the general election for the Chino Meadows 2 Water Company of this year.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Number D, consideration possible action to award contract to Aero Roofing Incorporated to remove and replace the roofing material and skylights at the senior center with an estimated cost of $28,227.60, plus an additional cost for unseen condition revealed after shingle removal. Mr. Marbury.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This was an emergency, classified as an emergency purchase as far as the town goes. We started getting leaks after all the rain and everything. Starting around Thanksgiving, tried to do some repairs, didn't work. With the amount of use the senior center gets and the amount of public that's in there and the ceiling damage we were getting, we got the roof looked at and analyzed and consulted with town manager, and we decided it needed to be an emergency repair to go ahead and replace those skylights and the roofing material. They're up there now doing that. and because we couldn't determine where the leak was coming from, but we thought it was a pretty risky. If someone slipped and fell in there, it'd be a lot more than just $28,000. So we're asking for the council's approval of that contract to finish up that roof, and I don't think there's any more decking damage that I've been notified of yet, so it should be real close to that number.
Yeah, we had a meeting in there this morning and it was noisy.
So, but I think it'll be a lot safer in there.
Any questions on this side?
No.
Questions on this side? Then I need a motion.
I'll make a motion, we award contractor Aero Roofing Incorporated to remove and replace the roofing materials and skylights at the senior center with the estimated cost of $28,227.60, plus any additional costs for unseen conditions revealed after shingle removal.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. Executive session. Council may vote to recess the regular meeting and hold an executive session which will not be open to the public for the following purpose. An executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431-03A3 for discussion or consultation for legal advice with the town attorney regarding subdivision regulations. And our second executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431-03A4 for discussion or consultation with attorneys for the town regarding a potential intergovernmental agreement with the city of Prescott relating to water service.
I'll make a motion, we move into executive session.
Second.
All in
After a
favor say
10-minute
aye.
break?
After a 5-minute break, we will move into executive session.
5 minutes.
Aye.
5
Thank you
minutes.
very much for coming this evening.
Kelly, Joyce, did you get your,
Yeah.
you got this one? Okay. Thank you. It's down there somewhere.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We're adjourned.
Good job, Annie.